Well, it's time for the moment of truth. After rivalry week in the Power 5 Conference Championships, we finished as the 4th-ranked team. Unfortunately, there is no college football playoffs for Road to Glory, so we have a Fiesta Bowl showdown against Oregon. But stay to find out how everyone performs. This would be my last college game. After not making the national championship, every team in our position would want to prove that they should have been there. I had the added chip on my shoulder of finishing second in the Heisman and being a third-round projected draft pick. I felt like I was finishing as the runner-up for basically everything. So with our perfect season on the line, I wanted to dismiss any doubt about which team should have been in the national championship game. And on the second play of the game, I did just that. I housed a 66-yard run while breaking a DB's ankles. Oregon, of course, answered right back. We knew from our preparation the last 2 weeks that Oregon had an elite group of athletes in the secondary and that their defense was great at forcing turnovers. So Coach and I worked on the first 15 play script for days trying to get Oregon off balance, but who would have expected that touchdown run to start the game? Basically, my point was we felt that we had to be perfect on offense to win this game. Gay has been money for us down the stretch, and he made a massive catch on third down. We were methodically working our way down the field using the run game and a lot of short pass concepts, which was unusual for how we finished the last few weeks of the season, but I think it made sense in terms of the caliber of competition we were playing against. Looking back at my career, I don't think I would have changed a thing about it. If you look back at where I started, I was an egomaniac and I was an untalented sprinter playing quarterback at the high school level, and I only got scholarship offers because of my speed. I was a terrible teammate to Gio, my old wide receiver in high school, stealing his girlfriend. I kind of deserved to have my UW offer pulled, and in retrospect, everything led up to me being where I am today. I don't think I'd even be in consideration for the Heisman or be a part of an undefeated team if not for me facing adversity earlier in my career and my early struggles in New York my freshman season. We had a monumental program win against Ohio State, but when it was all said and done, I almost hung up my cleats for good after that year. Louisville is the school that saved me and turned my career around, along with players like D. Wiggins, Marshawn Ford, Amari Huggins-Bruce, Tyler Hudson, Jawar Jordan, Des Melton, and I can go on and on. I got the opportunity to play alongside so many current and future NFL players. I really should be grateful that I'm even being considered a draft pick in the 3rd round. When I started out, my fans had even turned on me my freshman year, thinking I wasn't good enough to play quarterback. You already know a lot of people suggested I switch positions to wide receiver or to running back, but we got the job done this season playing quarterback and breaking the all-time single-season passing touchdowns record for Louisville. Was my career perfect? No, but it was real. And just for a second, hold on, remember that my career isn't over. Really, it's just beginning. This final game is going to have lasting impressions on NFL scouts, even if it's not playing for the Natty. After our last drive ended with a missed field goal, and this drive almost ended from a fumble, we desperately needed some points on the board before half. I trusted my guy Chris Bell to win one-on-one, and he held on to it for our second score. Oregon scored again in 2 plays, and so we were back on the field with 30 seconds left. Coach was comfortable with going into halftime tied at 14. It made sense on paper. We hadn't scored any of our touchdowns by moving the ball quickly down the field, but I felt like we could run a really great 2-minute drill, and I could tell Oregon wasn't expecting it. I found my X-Factor Wiggins for a huge pass down the seam, which got us into the red zone, and from there we ran the ball a few times with Maurice Turner, and we easily scored. Well, we should have at least had a field goal, but due to clock mismanagement, we didn't even get 3 points before half. Instead of taking the 3, I forced a bad pass to Carson Gay, who wasn't even in the end zone, and we were still tied. To start the 3rd quarter, Oregon scored quickly, and our kickoff team, with Rich Crawford as the return man, took one all the way to tie it up again at 21. Our D got a big stop against Oregon the following possession, and now we had the ball back with a minute to go in the 3rd. Rich, who'd been huge for us this game, got knocked out by a linebacker on a screen pass, and we ended up having to punt. Of course, Oregon scored again, and now we were playing from behind. Now, without my number 1 weapon, it was nut up or shut up time, no more room for excuses. I think I was playing my best ball of the season in this game, and I navigated around D linemen and stepped up to deliver a couple of strikes to my wideouts. I was putting a lot of faith in guys like Elijah Downing and Davidson, who hadn't had much PT this season, but with some crispy routes and a couple of nice runs from Turner, we were in position to tie the game. I ended up catching Oregon playing some man after our first down pickup, and I ran it in for free. Finally, we got the ball back without Oregon scoring on the other side. With 2 minutes left, we needed to put ourselves in a position to at least get a field goal, although I don't know if I really trusted our kicker after missing one from inside the 15. On second, nothing was open initially, and I didn't want to force a pass, and eventually I was forced to throw it away. I only had 2 incompletions this game, and I didn't want a third going to the other team. Downing was insanely clutch this game, and I found him in the tightest window for the first down on 3rd and long. Aside from a hiccup or 2 on this drive, we were using the clock well, and we had all of our timeouts left. We were near midfield, and I could tell Oregon's defense was getting burnt out. They've been doing a great job all game, but they've been on the field a lot too, and they were getting frustrated because I was throwing perfect balls to my receivers. I hit Bell on a slant and we were well within field goal range at this point, so the game plan was to just run the ball with Turner. Turner did a great job on first, but on second he went out of bounds and stopped the clock, but I was kind of puzzled by Oregon's decision to not use any of their timeouts. We were kind of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit with passing the ball when we should have just kept running it, but I think coach thought our option game was getting blown up and the pass was there underneath all game, and it was safer. On third and goal, I bought a little bit of time, hit our X factor, but Wiggins somehow didn't get in, and I was praying that we would go for it on fourth because I didn't trust our kicker at this point, but he ended up nailing the field goal, and Oregon had the ball with about 20 to go. With under 10 seconds left, Thompson got at midfield and Oregon had 2 timeouts remaining, but they'd probably have to throw up a Hail Mary. Thompson threw up a jump ball and was nearly brought in by an Oregon receiver, but our DBs did just enough to force the incompletion, and we walked off with a close win versus Oregon, further proving that we should have been in the national championship discussion at least. Finishing the season with a perfect record, while I finished our game with a perfect passer rating with only 2 incompletions all day. This series has been going for a few months now, and I appreciate you guys for watching it. Look out for when I declare for the NFL draft since I am a senior this season. Remember too that all of my senior teammates that are draft projections will also be in the draft class with me, and all of my previous teammates that are currently in the league. So I might end up getting drafted to a team with a former teammate or opponent, or I might not. Please let me know if you want to see my NFL career. I always love to hear your feedback in the comments.